Gosh, I'm just so happy to see that I'm distracted by the fact that you're here.
Same. I'm like, what are we supposed to be doing? Is this just a big hangout session? I feel like this is just a big
It is.
It is.
It's just a big hangout session.
That's all it is.
All right, let's do this. I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Go. You have the stage.
I can't when you're talking.
What?
Hi, everyone. I'm Cami Chaos, and this, wherever he is.
Yeah, I'm Rick Turoczy. She kind of changes up the intro for me every time just to keep it fresh. I am Rick Turoczy. We are mildly interesting people, which is why we always take the opportunity to invite someone far more interesting to the show so that you're entertained, because if it were just us, it would just be mildly interesting. Cami, who is our guest today?
I have a question for you first.
Why? This is
Have
not,
you ever met
I am not the guest.
It's important. It is relevant to our guest.
Okay.
Have you ever met a person who wasn't famous or anything?
Oh.
But at the moment you met them, you were so incredibly starstruck that you just kind of tripped over your own dumb tongue and you were like, oh, she's so cool. I just hope she wants to be friends with me someday. Have you ever met someone and felt like that?
You're seriously asking me if I've ever tripped over my own dumb tongue? I think that's like a daily occurrence for me. But yes, I get the feeling you're describing. And yes, absolutely. Probably with some of the same people that you have. Did
you have it with this person?
I think I might have, yeah.
Because
maybe several times. Maybe every time.
I still get a little like...
Every time is like the first time with this guest.
Our guest today has the most contagious energy that I have ever experienced in my life. As a lazy introvert, being around her makes me want to get up and dance and talk to people and hug and shake hands and like raise my hands and sing in a choir. And I should not be doing those things. I cannot help myself when Jordan is around. So please let me introduce you to one of the most creative and lovely individuals I have ever had the honor of knowing in my life, Ms. Jordan Hayles.
Thank you. Thank you so
much.
Hello,
honey.
Glad you're here.
Hello, hola, ¿cómo están?
Before we talk about now Jordan, I want to talk about little Jordan. Because the last time you and I really got a chance to connect, little Jordan was a huge part of the picture. So tell me, who is little Jordan?
Oh my gosh. So little Jordan is actually pictured.
Little Jordan!
Much by accident. I'm at my aunt's house and she just has all these pictures of me because she really loves me. That's very sweet. But yeah, Jordi, as I affectionately, that's a new word.
Reflection, affection, reflectionately.
There you go.
Putting it in a notebook.
She's super nerdy, super cool, very spacey, and wildly just in her brain and not like on the planet because she spends a lot of time by herself. Only child with glass door mirrors in her bedroom where she does improvisational speeches of her own prompts. She practices her NPR voice because her dad listens to NPR in the car and she's just ready. She's like, this is Jordan Hayles of NPR, and like she's doing this at like
nice.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. She's just going for it. She does it in different languages. She's very serious about her learning and her scholarship and her academia. And she's also very playful and imaginative. I'd also say that she has absolutely zero interest in her emotions, except, and I know this is just offensive to a Pisces, but except when she is playing piano and dancing and storytelling. That's when the fullness kind of her being kind of comes together. So that's little Jordi.
I have so many questions. I expected to ask a very specific question, and it doesn't need to be asked. I was going to be like, how did little Jordi turn into Jordan? But I don't really think there's like, honestly, it flows. It's beautiful. I didn't expect to ask this question. Is that because dance and music and storytelling are a safe space? Is that why emotions are safe and okay there? I'm the crazy Pisces that is like all in my emotions all the time. So tell me, like, I am so fascinated by that segregation of emotion from intellect.
I think that art within itself has a lot of healing power.
Mm-hmm.
And that we don't know about, that maybe we don't even need to know about. Like, we just need to like get there and go like art, like go in art for a little bit, you know? And these mediums were different kinds of stages for self-expression to come out. Cause like, so I'm 5'3" now, but little Jordi back in the day was, 3 foot, 4 foot or whatever. But I've always been like big energy in a tiny package.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I know that music speaks to me at like a deep, deep place. And then dance has an agreement with the music that it will allow that deep expression to take on form. And storytelling for me connects me to my ancestors and my family line. I just come from a line of really cool storytellers. So I think when grounded in those agreements and that allowance and a sense of like your people by your side, I think there's room for emotional growth and flow.
So Jordan, tell me a story. Tell me a 3-minute story.
I'll tell you the story.
Also, you're one of the only people I know that I would put on the spot that way, and you can tell me to go to hell.
That's fine. That's fine.
But tell me a 3-minute story.
Okay, I'll tell you how I became dance ambassador.
Yes.
Yes, please. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So it was 2019, late 2019, and I was moving down to San Diego. I really didn't know anybody. And I was like,
I object to the fact that you moved to San Diego. However, I also love San Diego. Please continue. I'll stop interrupting.
I moved down to San Diego despite the fact that there was this little Cami on my shoulder that was like, I object. I object. I was like, no, Cami, but my soul tells me I have to go. Tacos. And so I managed to overcome, and I had to have a strategy. Okay, how are you going to meet people? What's good? Mm-hmm. And I don't know if y'all have ever been to creative mornings in Portland. You've been. It's always a great place to meet really good people at a very stimulating creative talk that also tends to be very intellectually stimulating as well. Like meeting 300 of your not currently known new best friends and having coffee and donuts, etc. Right? So I was like, that's where I'm going to go because I'm going to meet some of my people there. Mm-hmm. So I get there. It's great. It's fantastic. We're at the library, top floor, beautiful views, great music playing. So, I do what I do. If there's good music, then I'm gonna dance. Like that's what's gonna happen. And so I'm dancing, and then all of a sudden, I start scanning the room, and there's only 2 people that are dancing out of like 300 people.
I thought you were going to say 3 people, and I was like, that's a good percentage.
That's pretty solid.
Okay, continue. I'm so excited.
One wallflower. That's it. Yeah.
It's Rick.
It's me.
We do have to add the cultural note that the only 2 people who were dancing were the Black people in the room, and then everyone else, the whites were not dancing. I'm just saying the whites were not dancing.
No, it's terrifying. It's terrifying, the dancing.
Your community was not dancing, so we had this thing, it was called 30-second pitches. You come up, you talk to yourself. I'm like, great, I need to introduce myself. I'm new here. And then something just came over me. I was like, I have more important business than pitching myself. I got to ask these people, well, the music was good. Why is nobody dancing?
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, y'all, this is how you do it. This is how you do it, you know? And then everybody starts laughing, and it just like breaks a certain level of tension in the room.
Yeah.
And so then I do my 30-second pitch. And as I'm leaving, right, and everything's done, this woman comes up to me, and it just so happens that she was my birthday twin. And she was one of the organizers of the event. And she was like, would you like to be our dance ambassador? And I was like, bet. Yes. So that's your story of how I became.
That's a good story.
Interesting. That's a good story.
That's a very good story.
Yeah. We like the whites. We always turn the lights down, way down, so it's super dark, so no one can actually see us dancing.
And dancing. We got to turn the lights all the way down. No one needs to see that stuff.
Windows in a library? No. Doesn't matter how good the music is. No. No.
It was so interesting because after kind of the ice broke, and then I started coming back, because keep in mind, like, these people, they didn't know me. This is the first time they had met me. But
they all had friend crushes on you. I can guarantee it 100%. Having met you, every person in that room was like, gosh, I hope she picks me. She's so cool.
I was also very excited to be picked. I was like, these are really nice people, you know? And
yeah.
So I would come back, and it was very unofficial, but the first like 30 minutes of every program, I didn't know what the music was going to be, but I would lead the group through moves and kind of read the room, but also elevate the room. And people had dance moves. They were just suppressing them.
Yeah.
Rick, do you have dance moves?
No. I grew up in the 80s. Like, there was no moves. There was just rock back and forth from one foot to the other. So those are my moves.
You grew up white in the 80s. You need to...
In southern Idaho.
I'm
so
sorry.
take all those.
Thank you. You really needed to add some details to that, because there are a lot of people that came out of the 80s who could dance like a devil.
That's a nasty recipe right there. It's not Footloose. Right. I'm not Footloose. So
you were what Footloose wanted.
Yeah, exactly. What I was coming to before that weird train derailment was the why, Jordan, in your opinion, are the business world or kind of the professional world, if you will, why have we been so accepting of anger and argument and conflict being appropriate emotions in a business environment, and yet joy and self-expression being repressed? Like, what in your experience, in your opinion, why is that?
That was a good question. That's a great question. That's a great question. Okay, so we're going to lightning round this response. We're just going to go, moving the brain. First off, I don't even know if anger is an accepted emotion universally, right?
Okay. Yep.
It's gendered, it's racialized.
Thank you.
And I would agree with you that kind of that sense of aggression, let's get it done, is more accepted in the places that it is accepted. Emotional vocabulary limited. I'm going to continue to lightning round this. Emotional vocabulary limited. It's not about the wholeness of humanity. It's about the task at hand from a very narrow point of view. What else is coming up for me? When you have roots in violence, they show up in strange ways moving forward, even if you are making an earnest effort to move away from it. If you don't address your root, the tree continues to grow, right?
Yep.
So that's kind of like that, and then the easier answers are, we expect in the business world for it to be male for a lot of historical reasons, right? We expect it to be white male, a certain kind of white male, And our definitions of male are often very limited. And so that is reflected there. I also think if you look at the roots of work in the context of the United States of America, and as it's connected to slavery, there's a habitual practice of limiting joy of workers, right? Not only just in putting them in harrowing situations, but actively saying, you're not allowed to laugh. Heck, you not only are you not allowed to laugh, you can't even go to the bathroom.
Right. Yep.
Right. So much more. That's a great question. I'm very interested now in exploring kind of exactly what those emotional landscapes have looked like over time.
Yeah, I appreciate you taking the time and the headspace to even start to approach that. It's just because even in your short story, you really decrypted, you introduced a new element of emotion and expression that immediately shifted a community. And like, if it had been, if you could do that as one person, like, imagine if we could embrace a culture that appreciated and celebrated those aspects of humanity for people to be their whole selves, regardless of where they are.
Yes.
I'm going to say that straight, white, cis, bearded men would be a lot less in control of things if we did that. I know you're okay with that. I'm talking to the other straight, white, cis, bearded men.
The white tech bros.
Rick would have anyone but him control the world.
So long as I have my dumb sports that I can play and my dumb sports movies that I can cry at, I'll be fine. It'll be good.
I'm not actually that worried about you, baby.
Oh,
sorry.
Good. Cool.
Oh. Do you know, are you aware of the contagious and addictive nature of what you bring to the world? Because if someone were to ask me, hey, Cami, do you know a person, personally, do you know a human who actually makes the world a better place just by being who they are? And I'm not kissing your ass. I'm just like, sincerely, Jordan, you make the world a better fucking place.
Thank you.
Do you know that? Are you aware?
Okay, I have two answers to that.
Please.
Hell yeah, I know. Okay. My second answer is frequently I forget. You know?
Is it good to be reminded? Because I'll tell you every day if you need.
It's good. You know, I identified very early on as a change agent. You know, so I had a point of view that moving the world to places that it either hadn't been before or that it had been to, but it regressed from and could, you know, it would be a good idea to return. I knew that was one of my roles, right? What I didn't know was that the greatest pathway to affecting that change would be to just be myself. That was the biggest learning opportunity for me. And I think, like, me and the stage have got a relationship. We've got something.
You and the stage are hot and heavy.
That, you know, it's honestly, the only home that I have is the stage. That's where I feel most able to be. It feels like there's enough space and that I don't have to apologize for taking up all of the oxygen in the room, right? Because it's so big. And the point is to like reach the people all the way in the back, right? So my job is to be big. And I think what's important to me right now and connecting back to little Jordi, but also moving into future Jordi, next life Jordi, is like
Super Jordi.
Super Jordi is being okay with the fact that I just really have a lot of different personalities and experiments and things that are going to move through me, and that's not a burden. It's not a bad thing. It's like what makes me me. And the earth would not have made room for me if it didn't want some of that. So
Yep.
I'm writing the words "holy shit," and then I'm underlining it 3 times because that's profound. I feel like I'm sitting I feel like I'm in a therapy session where I just figured shit out, but you're the one who's saying it.
Okay.
So wow.
What came up? What'd you figure out?
It's talk about space, right? As women, and I can only address this as like a white woman, right?
Yeah.
We are taught not to take up space. We are taught to make ourselves smaller. We are taught to make ourselves less than. We are taught not to have anger. We are taught not to be emotional in public. We are taught not to have that joy, that sense of like overwhelming joy that you talk about being on the stage with.
Right.
And you just mentioned that the world wouldn't have made the space for you if it wasn't there. And that is something that my depressive, pessimistic, anxious mind doesn't always allow for it.
Yeah.
And I can see it in you. And when I hear you say it, I'm like, oh shit. She's not just talking about herself. She's talking about other human beings as well. You're amazing.
You're
yeah.
amazing.
Just be yourself.
Amazing.
I'm struggling to understand why you moved to Portland. I love Portland. Don't get me wrong. But Portland is the least diverse place I've ever lived in my life.
I like diversity. How about Portland? No.
Does it really?
Does not compute.
So I did not purposely choose Portland. So
fair enough.
What happened? What had happened was I was.
Don't tell me you followed a person you were in love with.
Yeah, I followed this person that I was in love with. Her name was Jordan, and she was no. So I had moved Mobile to Atlanta for school, stay in Atlanta for a little while. Moved to New York at peak winter. Don't know why. Did not last there long at all. Came back.
The only thing worse than New York in the winter is like New York in the hot summer with no AC. And the garbage stinking up this. Yeah.
No.
Other than that, I love New York.
I love New York. And I'm the country girl part is accurate, as accurate as the global spirit part is. So it was a large transition. So yes, I'm in New York. That lasts for like a very hot second. And I come back down to Mobile and I'm staying with my parents and I'm like, what am I doing? What's going on? And so I reached out and to someone that I knew who was doing coaching, who was a spiritual guide, and started working with her at that time to figure it out. Like, I know, like, I got a lot of good stuff going on. It's not manifesting the way that I would have wanted it to manifest. Like, what's up? What's good? So I'm learning about myself. And then I'm like, okay, I want to go back to New York. She was like, I'm sorry, you're not going back to New York. I was like, huh? It's like I've seen it. Like, she's like, I've seen it and it's beautiful nature. And New York also has beautiful nature, but she was describing it in a way that was not New York. Right. Yeah. Yep. And I don't remember oh yes. Okay. Now I remember. So I had a friend, her name is Stephanie. Shout out to Stephanie Ghostin.
Hi, Stephanie.
So Stephanie and her husband lived in Portland. Mm-hmm. And we were, I think, buddies from like an online course. We had never met in real life. And she knew that I was moving about and seeking out new experiences. And I think at some point she says, well, why don't you come stay with me and Max for 2 weeks and see if you like Portland. If you like it, stay, find a place. You know what I mean? And if you don't, then go about your merry way. And I was like, yeah. And then another friend of mine was like, well, if no place feels like home, then travel is where it's at. I was like, you're right. So between,
Nomad. Is that person a nomad?
very much so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, so between the psychic insight, my friend being there and offering me an opportunity, and another friend saying, feel free to tap into your travel side, that's how we end up in Portland.
Interesting. Both Stephanie and Max are on my dream list of guests, by the way. So at some point
I
we'll be
don't
able to
know
link
Stephanie
all
and Max,
this up.
do I?
Yeah, you've met them, but like Stephanie,
Okay.
like Stephanie has big energy too, but in a very different way from Jordan.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
very different and very, So I think
All I have to say
I
is
think you would enjoy.
Stephanie, thank you for bringing Jordan to Portland,
Mhm.
because it took a while, but you brought Jordan into my life, and I wouldn't want a life without Jordan. Just saying. So can we make a short that's just a thank you to Stephanie?
Yeah, we can totally
Okay.
do that. Yeah, we'll make sure to
Do
do
you have
that.
anything you want to say to Stephanie, Jordan?
Stephanie, you trusted someone you had only met on the internet to come into your home. And for that deep level of trust, we appreciate you, we support you, and we dedicate this shoulder shimmy just to you.
Did I do it right?
Even Rick is shoulder shimmying.
Oh,
crying.
yeah.
Mm.
Damn. All right.
Wait,
I love Stephanie.
before
I've never met her. Well,
Yeah,
apparently
well,
I have met her, and I just don't.
now I will.
Oh, no?
Yeah, I will.
All right.
I-
we'll
now,
work that
now
out
I feel
later.
I feel even more pressured to make that happen. So there you go.
We'll work it out
That's-
later. It's
yeah,
fine. It's
we'll
fine.
make that work. I can already sense Cami is starting to do that. I want to ask the lightning round. I want to do
I
that.
don't,
want to
because
do
if we start the lightning round, then we have to stop talking to Jordan.
So let me throw one more kind of big question in there, because I think what we've talked about quite a bit is country girl Jordan experiencing things. Talk to me about global attitude
mindset.
Jordan going to Panama or like other stuff. Like, tell us a little bit about that side of Jordan.
Wait, how'd you know I went to Panama? I'm like, who did I tell I went to Panama? Oh, I put it up on my wall.
He's creepy, isn't he? And it's like, you're like, I know he loves me and I love him, so it's okay, but creepy, little creepy.
So good. Okay, so global Jordan, going to Panama. Okay, so the first way that I travel is through languages, actually. So even before the internet became as beautiful as the internet has become, I was traveling through the land of languages at all times and places. And that's one of my favorite ways to form a sense of connection to something that feels super different and separate from me, but also simultaneously feels like home. So I said that the stage is the only home. I guess I had a realization on your show. Thank you for this therapy.
Yes.
Right?
This is the best thing ever.
So good. So languages are a second home for me. One of my best relaxation tools is to turn on a language that I don't know at nighttime and just hang out with the vibes.
Mm-hmm.
And how many languages do you know?
No is a great word. So
I chose no instead of fluent because
yes.
Yeah.
So fluent in 2, English and Spanish. Making remarkable progress with French. Very excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
Some knick-knack knowledge in Tamil, Hindi, and recently had to use my D-E-F-G-H-J, give go. I recently had to use my sign language alphabet in a Walmart the other day. So that was one of the highlights truly of my 2023. So yeah. But global Jordan in Panama was very interesting. I felt this, I've always sensed this feeling of connection with like Afro-Latinos in Cuba and across the Spanish-speaking Caribbean. And it just felt really good to be able to go somewhere and look around and see these people who look like me but had a totally different experience from me, but also had something in common. Like I met this guy who was living there, but he was from the Dominican Republic. And we were talking about like when you're ashy, like when your skin is like, you know, dry. And I was like, well, what do y'all say for ashy? Right. But this conversation is happening in Spanish.
Yeah.
And he's like, we call it cenizas, which is like ashes. And I was like, y'all call it ashes too. Y'all call it ashes too. This is great. You know? So it was just really refreshing. And I had been in both Portland and San Diego, and Portland and San Diego don't have large amounts of Black people. They do have a Black presence there, but it's not what I experienced, say, in Mobile, Alabama, right? Or in Atlanta,
right.
Georgia.
Right. Yep.
So that alone was like, oh, I remember this kind of diversity. Thank you. But also, Panama has so many different people from so many different countries there. I think due to tax laws or something like that. But it was refreshing to be with fellow travelers and enjoy. And I'm excited to continue to lean into this, like more living abroad, more languages, more understanding the world from completely different perspectives that somehow end up being the same because they're human, you know, like,
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I just love the analogy of Panama as a geographic location for you, because it's such a like transitory like the company's been ripped apart so that two separate bodies of water can be connected. Like there's something interesting. So I think that's why Panama stuck with me. And something else you said about kind of just putting a language on and vibing with it, like that. I will tell you what I used to do. I used to love that with opera. I was like, I don't understand this language, but this person is expressing extreme emotion through music, and I can feel that whether I can understand it or not. And then they started subtitling every goddamn opera, and it ruined it for me. Like I was like, this is not the same experience anymore. I don't want to know what they're saying. Like I just want to hear it. I want to feel it.
Feel it.
Yeah. And it's like, it's free because like I'm a Capricorn. Capricorns can be a little judgy at times, really trying to free myself of that. But when you don't know the language there and you're able to experience it more as music than as words you don't understand, there's nothing to judge. It's just cool, you know, it's just nice. And that alone is like a breath of fresh air for me. So I'm sorry that they did that to your opera experience.
Yeah. My opera glasses just need to be like a sleeping shade where I like can't see anything going on. I can just hear it.
Okay. I feel the pressure of the lightning round impending, but you just said as a Capricorn, you're a naturally judgmental person.
So opened up another door there.
I'm going to ask you. We can have Jordan on the show every week and it will never get old. I'm just saying. As a Capricorn, as a judgmental Capricorn, I would like you to judge Rick and judge me. Just one judgment each. Critical. Yay.
And go ahead.
He's a Libra.
I was going to say, I'm a Libra, so I'll agree with you and disagree with you at the same exact time.
And I'm a Pisces, so I'll agree with you and then go feel feelings about it in the other direction.
Swim off and feel your feelings.
I'll be like, totally, she's right. And I don't so judge us.
I'm ready for my judgment. You know, Rick, I was just thinking, you're wearing your She Flies hat and it's really nice. I love what it stands for, but I feel like you're hiding. And I would like to see more of you. I have the keys to the world and I've been wanting you to just go ahead and run things for a while. And every time energetically I send you this invitation, you reject it. So I just feel like the hat has it's had its moment. It will continue to have moments, but I want to see other moments.
Okay. That's fair. That's absolutely fair.
That's fair.
And
I didn't
there's a reason
my
I
feelings
have
about the hat.
There's a reason I have this gigantic beard on my face too. So yeah.
What is the reason? Tell us more about it.
Because I'm hiding behind that too. This is all just hiding. It's all hiding. Just little eyes poking out, checking stuff out here and there. Little beady eyes.
Cami, I just want to say that you two have on a hat, and I feel like you're finding that wonderful hair that you have. We don't appreciate it. The people wanted to see the locks, Let's see. Yeah, baby.
Messy.
A little messy. Anything for you, Jordan?
I do want to say that one of the things that I've learned is that both judgment can be both positive and negative, that our positive assessments are judgments as well as our negative assessments, and that the most liberating space is the observatory space. I just wanted to add that. I'm very proud of learning that. I learned that later on in life. It felt really good to learn it.
That's amazing.
I was going to say beautiful. I accept amazing. Cool. You're beautiful and amazing, Jordan. Are you ready? At the
same time.
I'm ready.
Are you ready for the mildly interesting lightning round?
Oh, hold on. No, I'm not ready. I'm going to stand up.
All right. Cool. Get some oxygen.
Shake it out.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm ready.
All right, okay. Cool. And don't forget, if you do get stuck, which I don't, if you do, it's no big deal, but you can pass to give you some more time, but we will come back to the question. You will answer all 5 questions.
Okay.
He's very demanding. First question, favorite but least useful hobby?
Don't really know what a hobby is. Definitely have some. Next question.
Nice answer.
Would you like to survive the zombie apocalypse?
Wow. There's always something good on the other side of the mess. There's always something good on the other side of the mess. That is my affirmation that will get me through the zombie apocalypse. Yes, not only will I survive, I will thrive.
You are on my team, baby. Yes. I'm just making a note right now. Okay. Everyone stop laughing so I can ask you questions.
Okay.
What is the last food that you photographed?
The last food that I photographed in my mind. It was mini fruits on a paper plate, and it was one heck of a good time. There were apples, there were blueberries, there was peanut butter and bananas. Ooh. There was even a little bit of avocado. Oh yeah, baby. I'm in Savannah. Okay, I don't know why I was in Savannah. That's all I could do for the rhyme. But I
have one clarification question. Did you say many or mini? Like tiny or plentiful?
I don't remember what I said because I was in some type of poetic flow there, but I probably said mini.
I'll take it.
It worked.
Best season.
Sweater weather. Fall.
Fall, baby.
All I was going to say is I know it's not winter in New York. That was the only one I knew.
Right. I think Rick thinks this one's going to be hard for you. So I just want you to be emotionally prepared.
Based on my research, this might be a toss-up. I don't know.
I'm hiding. Where's my hat? Where's my hat?
Here. You can have mine. There you go.
Hold on. Let me get
Magnets or stickers?
Just feel like stickers are too much of a commitment, so I'm gonna go magnets.
Magnets it is. Jordan freaking Hayles. I love you.
Love you back.
This has been an amazing approximate hour of my life, as every hour that I spend with Jordan is. I am formally requesting, Jordan, will you please come back on the show and soon?
Please, I would love that. It's
awesome.
Always so good to talk to you all.
I miss you so much.
I miss you too. Like, your note taking is just, there's something magical that happens when you do that.
It's important stuff. There's like amazing stuff flowing out of your brain, and I just need to know it.
And then Rick asking the real questions.
I see. Right. Part of my thing is like, I am lucky and blessed and privileged to know amazing people like Jordan and numerous others, but I need to help them express that amazingness in a way that other people can consume it, because they don't get the quality time than I do. So I'm just trying to squeeze all your awesomeness into a very short time period, and I have.
And
to
I'm
ask
saying, why
questions
squeeze her awesomeness into the short time period? Let's just keep having her back as a regular contributor to our show.
Maybe,
so,
yeah.
I have to do something. I have to lead a revolution in this moment.
Okay.
I need to ask you all a lightning round question. I don't know.
Oh my God, I love you. Yes, let's do it.
Oh yeah, Rick. Oh yeah. Okay.
He hates it. I love it. Let's do it.
Oh, look at that. We're at time.
We're at time.
Suck it.
I can press the
right
stop
there.
recording button.
Do not push the button. Jordan has questions.
All right. Here it is. What state do you currently live in, Rick?
Oregon.
Yes. Rick, what are you wearing on top of your head?
Hat.
What color is it?
It's gray and tan colorway with the white back.
Yellow. It's not tan, it's yellow.
It's tan. It's actually tan, see?
Rick, do you have a beard or do you not have a beard? Yes or no?
In my mind, I don't. But in reality, I do. Like when I wake up in the morning, like I don't think I have a beard unless it's like stuck in my mouth or something. But like, then I go to the mirror. I'm like, holy shit! Oh yeah, I have a beard. Damn it.
Okay, Rick. Last question for your lightning round. What's your favorite dance move?
Cabbage Patch.
Okay, could we get an approximation of Cabbage Patch from you, Rick?
No, you didn't. I didn't say I could do it. I just say I like it. But you doing it, that's great. I love that.
I love it. Cami, what state of mind are you in right now?
Joyous.
Cami, what other outfit would you wear with that amazing red necklace?
I've got this amazing black, long, like almost knee-length blouse with polka dots on it. And I like to like put it over the collar and just let it hang down and be long and pretty.
Cami, what is your favorite dance move?
I don't know what it's called. Can I just show you?
Please.
It's this horrible thing, the John Travolta thing. What is that called? That's
Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah, I like that.
Called. Yeah.
That's it. That's my lightning round to you. It wasn't too bad, was it, Rick?
No, it was.
No, I mean, I've suffered
ask questions deliberately to be mean. So, all right. Normally, at this point, I ask Rick to wrap up the show for us. But Jordan, you want to wrap us up? Send us out. Tell people where they can find you.
Tell you what you got. Tell people what you got going on. Tell them where they can find you. We'll link it up down below.
Let's see here. Let's wrap this show up the right way.
Wrap it up.
Party people of the world, it's Thursday, March 30th, different times and different time zones, but we are here together on the Mildly Interesting People podcast. My name is Jordan Hayles, and I've had the pleasure of being here with you today, as well as Rick and Cami. Thank you so much for your time. You can find me at www.jordanhayles.com. You can also find me on the internet randomly at _Jordan Hayles. What do I have going on? I am dance ambassador to the world, especially in 2023. So I will be seeing you at the conferences and your big retreats and meetings, and we'll be bringing the power of dance to the collective space. And as a dance ambassador, I'm on a mission to take over your Mondays, to make sure that you know that movement is more important than meetings, that every meeting should have movement, and that movement needs no reason to be. We call it Movement Mondays. You can come and hang out with me on LinkedIn to hear more about it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Jordan.
I love you.
Love you back.
Okay, we're going to stop recording now, and I'm going to go have feelings. So we'll see you all later. Bye.
Bye.